the truth.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build an electric state DarkRP. So first of all, you want to open your build menu by pressing B. As you can see in the corner, there is controls down here saying T to open your menu, which will be important for building, B for your actual build menu, which is the most important for building, and G, which has to do with your inventory, which is not important. So when you open your build menu, you have basically everything you're going to place into the world: props, jukebox, picture signs, everything interactive, production, like stations to craft items, really just everything that you're going to place into the world, which is on the right GUI. You have the left GUI, which is colors and materials. You've got resize, build and edit, and you've got some hotkeys in the corner. And most importantly, for the right side, you've got subsections. So if you want to find lighting quickly, you can quickly press on lighting, find the lighting you want. For example, telephone lights, which I'm going to use so that you guys can see. And production, doors if you need them, walls to get quickly, and all in furniture. I would recommend all if you're doing furniture because much easier. You might not know that something isn't a furniture and you'll be looking for a very long time for it. But that's why I use it. So say I want to place a chair comfort in my build. It's for like a shop where I've got a window and they're looking through and I need to sit somewhere to sell them stuff. You're going to place it into the world by finding it, which everything is in alphabetical order, so it's pretty easy. Look for C, look for chair comfort, and it will a highlighted green version of the prop will appear. It's not physical, you can walk through it. It's not actually in the world. It is only really in the world once you've clicked and it appears as it would normally. So by clicking on edit, you can edit anything you've already placed in, which is how you change the color and material if it's already placed in. So of course you can like click a material, click a color, place it in, and it will be in that color. But I normally place it in, then change the color. So you're going to click on edit to edit your item. Change the color. So let's say I've got a build and it's primarily like gray and blue, and that's like the color palette. And I've decided I want to use blue as my chair's color. So I'm going to find a blue that looks good. Like I'm going to choose electric blue, and you click on it. And with the color selected, you just click place and it will basically replace it as the color you chose. But also, if it's not the default red, it doesn't really look like a chair because it looks like a plastic blob shaped into a chair. So the way to change the material to make it look semi like a chair is by pressing the default material button and a drop down will come down with all the materials, and you're going to click fabric because that looks most like a chair, in my opinion, out of all these things. You can choose any material because it depends what you're doing, but I'm going to choose fabric. Then you click it again, you click place, and it will change the material. There's diamond plate and like say black. It's pretty black, but you've got just any material really. Missing out on some from studio, but still got enough materials to build with. So moving away from props, anything you want to place in the world, colors, materials, just the basic thing that comes up when you press build menu, we're going to move on to the edit tool, which I actually use to recolor and change the material of this item, which isn't just used for that, but I primarily use it for that. So you can change colors and stuff with it, obviously, like I showed before. But this is an example from before the update where they added a resizable wall, but I'm just going to show you what it used to be used for a lot. Say you placed a wall and you want the wall to be longer and you can't resize the wall because this is before the update. You would drag it along the axis that you want it to go until it lines up, press copy, or you can copy it, then move it and click place, which does the same thing, just a different process. It will be exactly aligned because you used basically the same from Roblox Studio, the move technique from Roblox Studio. You use this and it exactly aligns it, so you can just build a long wall like this, but that is not necessary with the Resizable Wall and the Resize tool. But what you would use it for now, say you have a wall here and you place a bookshelf, if I can find it, and you want another one to make it look like the bookshelf is bigger, you would drag it along so it's exactly the same position, just moved over one axis. Press copy, and it's being duplicated basically, and you can do that as much as you want until the proper limit is reached, and they will line up, which you can do like this. If you're making a square, you will have to like line this up because you can't. There's no one thing which is diagonal or whatever. It's all across these square things. So that's basically what you'd use edit for. There's also the hotkeys I mentioned before, which say not resize, rotate. If you press F, it will reset the orientation. I don't use that much, so I don't know if this affects it like when it's been moved, but if you, yeah, it just resets it to the same way it was facing, so you can fix a rotation if you want. If you press R, it will open a rotating menu, so you can drag it like exactly like Roblox Studio as much as you want, make it like a slope or anything like that, and that's basically the rotate tool. Press R again to get back to move, and you can delete it with X, of course, which is really important. If you place something in the world, it's in the way, you don't want it there, you can click on it, press X, or if you don't want to go to edit, you can just hover over and press X and it will delete it. There is also stud increments, which is, let me just turn it to the highest, which is 1, which is basically it aligns it to the stud by 0.1, 0.2, 0.5 was 1, and it's more of a base set way, so you always get it exactly aligned, so you get like the maximum out of a wall if you're trying to do a wall, instead of having a little bit left, just like this or something. It exactly moves it, which can be useful. I don't use it much, but some people like to. And the last thing is the J button, which doesn't work on my node right now because I have aligned it with the world properly. So as you can see, J does nothing. I don't know if you can hear me clicking it, but I am clicking it, and it's what it does is, I'm going to delete my node and replace it to show you. If you align your nodes sideways or something like this, which is at spawn the way of the world, it's kind of rotated off of the main local axis, then when you press this, it will default be kind of distorted, so when you try and drag it like this way, it will come out that way and that way. Just it's attached to the world axis, moving with the world, even though your node is sideways, which is really not helpful for the edit tool. So if you press J, it would align it with your node, and unalign it if you press it again, so it's much easier to move it around, as you can see. I'm just going to replace my node because I prefer to have it aligned locally. So that's it for the edit tool. Now I'm going to move on to the resize tool. So once you've clicked on the resize tool, you cannot like grab something and resize it within resize tool, because if you click something on the side, it will switch you to build tool. But what you have to do is, it's kind of like edit. You have to place something in the world however you want, and click resize, and then you can resize it like this. You drag one of the things, it doesn't matter on a furniture item, and you can resize it to as big or as small as you want, up to 300% or up to 20%. This is how you make a wall in the update. You would you would place a resizable wall and then click resize tool, click on it, and you can drag it specifically in one direction, whichever one you pull. So you can make a giant wall like this instead of placing multiple walls to make this one wall, which is really useful. And this way of dragging one side and it only extends one side is unique to the resizable wall, because for any furniture item like a bag or anything, you can't make a model longer in a sense, because there would be a lot of remodeling for each single prop, which I'm sure the owner doesn't want to do, and it would not be helpful in building, I'm sure, because a long bag doesn't seem that helpful. But that's basically resize in general. It's a really helpful tool, and I've covered this really quickly, and I want to emphasize that it's important and not just something to skim over, like I basically have with how fast I've done this resize tool part, because it's literally how you make walls. Like switch to edit, rotate, and you can it's kind of glitched right now, but if you can copy it and move it along, you can make walls like this. And then if you want it to be shorter on this wall, you just size it down, and then you can copy it over. It's the main thing you'll be using in building, apart from build and edit, which is obvious because of the other two. But yeah, resize tool is really important, and you should keep in mind to use it all the time. We're getting off of the build menu like this, off of this. There is other things to do with building, like the menu, which you open by pressing T and then switching to actions and scrolling down the building. And not everything is contained in the build menu. There is of course crates, which you can open by catalog to unlock furniture items like chair modern, sofa modern, couch modern, and which is unlocking props for your builds, which if you have unlocked a prop, it will, forgot to mention, it will have a picture of it if it's an unlockable item. But what I'm going to talk about is T, the menu. If you open T, the menu, you'll see job, shop, rules, and actions, and none of these are important apart from actions, because if you go to actions, you have subsections like mayor, bounty hunting, building, roleplay, money, and of course there is a building section. So this is what you're going to use for building, and I'm just going to go over these features, which the first one, set your doors free. You will probably not use ever again, and they might remove it when beta fully ends, because you can't purchase doors anymore. This was before the resize update, and no, it was in the banker update before the Far West update or Fallout update. And so you will never use this. This is how you unlock purchase doors, but there's no purchasable doors in the game anymore, so we're just going to skip over that. There is add/remove build buddy, so if you want to build with a friend, you can request build buddy, they can accept it, and then you can build on their node and they can build on your node, and also open each other's doors. You can press save/load building, which is really important, because if you've built a house, it's not just automatically going to save. You need to save it to one of your slots, and then when you're back in the game after leaving, you can click load to load it exactly where you saved it, for example with the vineyard right here, or load new position if you want to move it somewhere else in the world instead of just where you built it. There is also remove prefab, which is pretty unused, because if you do place a prefab, which I forgot to go over, it's basically a set building. You start off with garage wasteland, house wasteland, house wasteland 2, and you can just, so you start off with garage wasteland, house wasteland, and house wasteland 2, which all cost 1,000. You can unlock more, but these are what you start off with. It's basically a pre-built house if you're having trouble building, and once you place it in, you can press edit and then press X to delete it. You can't actually delete it in build mode by pressing X. Can't delete prefab. You can remove a prefab through the menu, but you can also remove it with edit by pressing X, which I'm not going to do because I'm going to show you through the menu. If you click remove prefab, apply, it will remove all the prefabs, not just one, but all of them. So you got to be careful if you are using the menu to remove prefabs, because if you have multiple, you might ruin your build by deleting a prefab. But anyway, that's basically prefabs, remove prefab. And then the last one is destroy node. So this will remove everything on your node if you haven't saved it, so you need to be careful about that. But if you have saved it and you just want to like create a new node, or you're not happy with what you built and you want to create a new node to restart, if there's too much to delete, you can click this, and as you can see, this green square, which is your node, you can click destroy node, and now it's gone. And if you press all, you can come back to the node section, which you can place. So that's basically it. Inventory has nothing to do with, there's nothing more to building. If you want tips for building, like how to build a house and printer bases, starter printer bases, make sure to comment that in the comments. But apart from that, that's the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.